Hey guys, Joe Smith here. Joe Smith has some more information that Joe knows to share with you. So here's another episode Joe knows. We have the wrench that we cleaned up with phosphoric acid in the other episode. And Joe Smith went ahead and ran it across a wire brush on the bench grinder for a little bit and cleaned it up, used some alcohol, wash it off. And then Joe Smith sprayed some of this high zinc galvanizing primer. This basically what this stuff does compared to regular primer. This is cold galvanizing it. It's spraying a layer of zinc on it, and what the zinc does and this primer does, instead of forming barrier or a seal around it like normal primer or paint or epoxy, this is forming an electrical bond with the metal. The metal wrench is acting as an anode, and the zinc acts as a cathode, and then that the metal wrench uses zinc in the primer to keep it from rusting through like electrolysis for that. So this is like a rust inhibitor that's going to work to keep it from rusting underneath the protective barrier and coating that the paint does. And if you want, you can use like a sealer primer sealer on top of this, and before you use the paint, or you can just spray the paint on. It's just an old wrench that was in a bucket of wrenches and screwdrivers and tools that Joe Smith got at an auction for a few bucks a few years ago. So Joe Smith's not too worried about it, but Joe Smith wanted to show some more tips here. And also, when you use these new products that you're not familiar with, read the labels. Read the labels for safety, instructions on use, first aid, all that. There's too many idiots out there getting hurt because they don't read the labels, they don't read the instructions, and they do it wrong and it messes up, and then they get all bent out of shape. So here's Joe Smith getting his glove on here. So just read the labels so you do things right the first time, and you don't hurt yourself or anything like that. And Joe Smith took some sandpaper real quick. You did it wet or dry. Joe Smith just hit dry real quick and rubbed it across to where you can see kind of the high spots and the pits a little bit better. But this, the spot putty, it's kind of like your Bondo or automotive putty, but this, you don't, it's already pre-mixed, you just kind of rub it on. And it's just for filling like little pits or pinholes or that. It's not for large surfaces. And it dries pretty quick, and it works pretty good too. You can use on fiberglass, bare metal, sanded primer, paint, wood, it even says. So, just going to demonstrate this. And you can stand this too. So Smith kind of looked the wrench over and picked the side that looked the best. And usually if you just got a couple small pinholes here and there, you just put like a little bit on your fingertip and kind of dab it on that hole or whatever. But since this whole thing was pitted, Joe Smith's just going to start off by rubbing a thin layer on here and then letting it dry. Joe Smith's not going to bore you with watching putty dry here, so going to end the video here. After this gets dry, Joe Smith's going to come over and sand it some, and then might have to add another couple spots here and there, but Joe Smith will do a quick little follow-up to this video, this episode Joe Knows, and kind of show you what it looks like after it's done and dry before we paint it. So as you can see, it's where it's real thin, it's already about dry. So this stuff dries pretty quickly, but Joe Smith will be back in a few to do a follow-up. Joe Smith signing out.